Hi, my name is Vikrant Narang. I'm your astro buddy from Pi Matrix. At Pi Matrix, our motto is sky is not the limit. So our aim is to inspire all of you to become wonderful astronomers. So many congratulations on buying our Phoenix telescope. It's a refracting telescope. That means it is using lenses as opposed to mirrors. It's the first kind of telescope you want to buy. So first of all, this telescope has a focal length of 700 millimeters and it has an aperture of 60 millimeter. It comes with a small finder scope to make this task of finding objects very easy. This telescope also comes with this mirror which you are seeing here. So this is a star diagonal. This particular mirror can also be used to look at terrestrial object because normally the telescope show upside down view. So if you were to look at terrestrial object with, let's say, a Newtonian reflector telescope, an animal you are seeing on the ground, it would be upside down, but not with this one. Now, this is the tripod, a field tripod with which you can use this telescope, so it will be always be very stable. So let's see what all it comes with. So it comes with a smartphone adapter for afocal photography, which simply means just taking pictures of the celestial objects by attaching your smartphone to this eyepiece which will be placed here. Now, it comes with 3 eyepieces. One is 6 mm, 12.5 mm and a 20 mm eyepiece which I have kept here. It also comes with something called as a Barlow lens which I have right here. So this Barlow lens is 3 times magnification Barlow lens. That means when you use this Barlow lens in combination with any of the eyepiece, whatever the magnifications I have told you will be increased 3 times. Now you will notice that there is a focusing system right here. So this is the back end of the tube. This is called the focuser. It's called a rack and pinion focuser. I can easily rotate these knobs and you can see this tube comes out and it goes in. So this telescope, this up and down motion is called the motion in altitude. That means this telescope can be moved completely up and completely towards the horizon. And you can also see that there is also another motion in which we can move the telescope in any direction. This particular knob is a lock knob. So before you move it up and down, you have to make sure this is not locked. You can see there is a shaft, you can see there is a ring here or a knob here, and you can also see on my side, this side there is another knob which helps in locking the telescope in moving in any direction. So the telescope is locked now. You can see the object can be anywhere in the sky. It can be here, here, here. This particular mount, Alt-as mount, can help me move the telescope in any direction. Talking about the lens of the telescope. So here I am removing this dust cap and here is a lens of this telescope. This telescope comes with an achromat lens which takes care of this chromatic aberration. Now you must be very eager to use this telescope. To use this telescope, what we are going to do, first of all, we will align this particular spotting scope. Now this particular finder scope is a mini telescope. It has a lens right here. It has a small eyepiece right here. Now, whenever you are taking your telescope to the field, the very first time for the entire evening or entire night, what you need to do is align this telescope with this main tube. So I've removed this dust cap as the first rule, and let me put as a start 20 mm eyepiece, which is giving us the lowest magnification. As a beginner, this is the eyepiece you need to use when you are using the telescope for the very first time. So let me put it. There was a dust cap here. I've removed this dust cap and we put this eyepiece, loosen this screw. This is easy, convenient to use thumb screw. Now my eyepiece is securely in place. I will stand behind the telescope. You can also use a chair. This chair will be very helpful. So you can be very comfortable when you are using this telescope in the night. So the more comfortable you are, the more you will enjoy the telescope. Now you have to find an object on the ground, not in the sky, you need to find something which is not moving. Any object on the ground will be stationary. So I have a very distant light source, and particularly I can see there is a red light and there is no other red light in that area. So to avoid any confusion, you have to find a very unique object. At least it should be 200 meters away. You can see the finder scope is attached to this bracket here, and there is a hole right here in this bracket. So I have to move a little back, unlock, and now see that object through this hole. And I get that object in this hole, lock it. Okay. Now I have to look through this 20 mm eyepiece. So I will have to nudge it a little to see by keeping the lock a little opened. Let me find that object. Okay, there I go. The same object is here, locking the knobs back. And now I will come to the finder scope. Now when I look through this finder scope at this eyepiece, I can see that object, but it is not in focus. It is a little blurry. So what I have to do is, by rotating this, I can make it focused. There I go. It's focused now. Now I'm finding that there is a cross wire I can see through this eyepiece, and whatever light source I'm seeing, that particular red light is not behind that. So what I need to do as my first goal is use these 3 thumb screws. I have to adjust this telescope so that that red light comes exactly behind the cross. So here I go. To do that, I'm loosening one screw while tightening the other. I'm using both my hands. As I loosen one, I tighten the other, and I see where the light moves. If it is helping me, I'll continue that way. Otherwise, I'll try to do a different combination. So now I'll change the screws and I see what is happening. Now I have got that cross right on that light. This finder scope is aligned. So what I have to take care of is that throughout the night, I don't have to touch it again. This step is a very important one. Now this telescope is actually ready to use. So in my sky, I know where is Jupiter. So Jupiter is right there. So what I have to do, so I'm standing right behind. Jupiter is there in the sky. I stand behind this telescope, loosen this, and point it up. Now I have to use the finder scope. Looking at through the finder scope, I get Jupiter inside. Gently lock this and look from my eyepiece. Now I can get Jupiter right here. So I can see Jupiter right inside the eyepiece, and then I move this to get a focused image. So initially Jupiter is looking like a big round circle. It is getting bigger. Now it is getting, I can see, wow. So this is how you have to use this telescope to find planets in the sky, and it's giving a very wonderful view.